Okay, you try are the problems that I want you to do in class each day to see if you understand what we're doing. I have saved this on the classroom assignment. So it's just 5 different problems that I want you to try. I'm going to do the solutions for those right now. So this video is going to be the solutions. So if you haven't looked at these and done them, I would do that right now and then come back to this video and see the solutions. Okay, the quadratic. So the first thing we've got to remember is that every time I see this, what I need to do is get this part that is squared by itself. So I'm going to undo dividing by 5 and multiply both sides by 5. So I'm going to have x plus 3 squared equals 35. I'm going to undo squaring by taking the square root of each side. When I take the square root of something squared, I just get what's on the inside. And the thing that I have to remember with solving this type of problem is that it introduces the plus or minus square root of 35. There are no perfect squares in that, so I can just leave it as it is. And I'm going to do one last step to get x by itself. So I'm going to have negative 3 plus or minus square root of 35. So solving quadratics, big thing is get the squared part by itself. And when you undo it by taking the square root, you're going to get a plus or minus. Application for that, if I drop an object off a roof, it's going to behave according to this equation where the negative 16 comes from the gravitational pull and the h sub 0 is the initial height. So if I look at this, if you drop an object off the roof of an apartment building that is 240 feet tall, that's my initial height. About how long will it take the object to hit the ground? So what I'm looking for is the time. So I'm just going to plug in what I know. If I'm talking about it hitting the ground, then isn't my height that I'm looking for 0? Because what I'm saying is I've got this building that is 240 feet tall. I've got this object and it's going to drop down there. So my final height is going to be 0. So I've got 0 equals negative 16 t squared plus my initial height. So I'm going to move this and get 16 t squared equals 240. I'm going to divide that and get t squared equals 15. I'm going to take the square root of both sides and get t equals plus or minus square root of 15. Well, the thing we know in an application problem like this is we're only looking for the positive time. So my t would just be square root of 15. If I'm talking about time, it may make sense to then actually come up with an approximation and say t is approximately 3.9 seconds. Okay, I've got these 2 different absolute value problems. So what I'm going to do with each one is first get the absolute value part by itself. So I'm going to add 1 and then divide by 3. So now I'm going to set up my two problems where I'm going to have 2x minus 9, the inside, is equal to 5, and 2x minus 9 is equal to negative 5. I'm going to solve both those to get 2x equals 14, so x equals 7. Solve this other one to get 2x equals 4, so x equals 2. I would plug both those in to test them for extraneous roots, find out that both of those are correct. Okay, I'm going to look at this other one. Well, in this one, the absolute value is already by itself. So I'm going to take what's on the inside, set it to what is on the outside, but I'm also going to take what's on the inside and set it equal to the opposite of what's on the outside. And now I'm going to solve both of these. So I'm going to get the x's on one side, find out that x equals 3. Over here, I'm going to just show you that I am distributing this first. Now gather them. 4x equals 4, so x equals 1. So I would want to double check and make sure that these work. If I look at this and I plug the 3 in for x, I'm going to get 9 minus 5, which is absolute value of 4, is equal to 3 plus 1. So that one works. I'm also going to plug in the 1, so I'm going to get 3 times 1, 3 minus 5. So I'm getting the absolute value of negative 2 is equal to 1 plus 1, so 2 equals 2, and that checks. So I would want to keep both of those answers. Okay, last one here. I am solving for the square root. So again, I got to get this square root part by itself. I'm going to move the 13. I'm going to divide by 2. I'm going to undo the square root with squaring. Remember that square root of something squared is just what's on the inside. And then I'm going to divide by 24 and get that x equals 6.